Right, loads of people keep asking me how we got our lights, which work off a battery pack, to work in the van. We bought these lights out of B&M. They were £4.99, but they were reduced to, I think it was £2.50, and they just light up like that. So, get out of the box and I'll show you exactly what I did. Right, so this little unit takes 2 pencil batteries, as you can see there, and there's a switch on it to turn it on and off, and it just lights the little peg lights that are on there. Now, we don't want that, so what we're going to do is going to use one of them, and it just drops the voltage down of the 12 volt that's coming in. So first of all, what we need to do is on the back of them, it's got in right there and it's got out right there. We need to put 2 cables on the in, so we've got a feed to go to the 12 volt. We're just going to use a normal piece of cable and we're going to solder it onto the 2 points there, so it's got a means of getting a power supply. Right, I'll cut this back and then we'll go from there. So we've got the positive on there and we've got the negative on there, nice and soldered on, all tight. Right, now we can work on this end. Right, so the battery pack that comes with the lights, that does emit 3 volts from there to there. We've tested it on the actual meter and it comes up with 3 volts. So what we need to do is, we need to find out off the circuit board which is the positive and which is the negative. So on the actual battery pack right there, you've got this little plate that covers over the front of it. You can just basically pull that off because it's only held in these 2 points here, and then that will give you access to these 2 points which are right there and right there. Now once the batteries are in, they're your 2 points where you're going to have a positive or a negative. So using the multimeter on the actual 2 points, we know that the batteries are putting off 3 volts, because if we put the actual cable on there, we can see it pulls off 2.9, say 3 volts. Right, so we need to find out which is the positive out of these 2 connections here, what's positive and what's negative. Right, that is 2.8 volts. If we were to turn it round, we will get a minus. So you see it gets a minus, so that's how you know that you're choosing the wrong negative. So that's 2.8 volts, so we know that this cable here on top is going to be the positive. We just got to find out which out of these 2 cables the positive is. If you can't get to the inside of this, all you need to do is bear a bit of the plastic back on the actual cables and then connect your actual feeds right through. So we know that is the wrong way round, so we swapped the actual probes round the other way. We can see there 2.8 volts, so we know that this cable here is going to be the positive. So this one is a positive, that one is a negative. So what we'll do is we'll just cut the positive right there. We will leave the negative connected just for now, and then on the end of this one we can just put some solder on the end of that just to tin it up, so that's now got a piece of solder on. So then we're going to take our board, and then on the back of this, on the output, you will see it's got out plus there, out plus minus there. But before we connect these up, we need to make sure that the actual right voltage is coming out of this so we don't blow the lights. So by using the EcoFlow River 2, what we can do is we can put a cigarette lighter in there, which is this, and then on the other end we've got a pair of connections, one up to the negative, one up to the positive. So what we can do now is we can connect our original cables. Don't forget, these cables are going to go into the vehicle. These are going to go connected into the van. So we know that when we plug the actual cigarette lighter into the EcoFlow, we're getting power into this unit, which you will see right now. Turn it on, and there we go, we have power. So we need to find out how much voltage is coming out of this by using the multimeter. So we know the top one is the live and the bottom one is the negative. So we can see that coming out of that is 11.9 volts. We don't want 11.9 volts because the battery pack is only putting out 3 volts. So we need to turn this down, which is dead simple. On top of the blue device there, you've got a little screw. just by taking a little screwdriver, we can connect up the positive and the negative, and then when I turn the little screw, you will be able to see on this screen here. So if I start unscrewing that now, you'll see the voltage will start dropping. So we need it to be 2.8 volts. So we're down to 7, 6, 5, 4, so we've got that down to 2.8 volts. Now we can connect the lights up to it and it won't overpower it. What we can do now is, we know that the one that's off here, that is the positive. So the good thing about these, there is tiny little holes in there where you can get a cable through, just like that. So we just put the cable through, take our soldering iron, tack it with a bit of solder, and now we know that that cable that's going through is sealed on the bottom and it's also soldered on the top. So we can cut this one now, just like that, and we can attach this cable to that side. So now that we've done away with this, we can then plug into the cigarette lighter of the EcoFlow. We can plug, which would be the 12 volt from your van, back into there, and if we power this on, the lights should come on without blowing because we've stepped down the electrics. So let's turn them on, and there you go. Now we can, if we wanted to, drop the voltage just a little bit more so the lights are a little bit dimmer, but we're just going to leave it on 2.8 volts, which seems to be fine. But I will just show you what I mean. That's how we go the right way. So as you see, if we're dropping them down, they actually do fade down a little bit. We'll just leave them on that. So what I've done next was I took the actual housing that the batteries were in and I actually stripped that down so it was all nice and clean, put a hole in the end for the cables to come through, fitted the actual reducer inside it, then got the hot glue gun out, give it a good whacking of glue, put the original cap back on, screw it into place, and then all the cables are nice, neat and tidy and aren't going anywhere. So the massive bonus about having these on an actual voltage reducer just means that you can now wire these into your van. You're never going to run out of batteries. You can put them onto a switch, you can put them wherever you like, and I'll show you exactly what we've done in our van and how we've put them in, and we've got a little switch underneath just so you know what can be done. So we fitted a switch just up there, and if we turn it on, that lights up our lights at the back. If we turn it off, off, on, off and on. Being able to wire them up into the van has been an absolute bonus because it just means that we're not going to forget about putting them on. We're not going to be looking for actual little stupid battery packs and running out of batteries. One flick of a switch, they're on or they're off. So I hope this video has helped someone, because a lot of people had asked us how we got our little lights running off the van. Well, not really hard. Only problem with, I will link all the stuff you need in the description, especially the little voltage regulators. You do have to buy them in packs of 10, which is a little bit of a pain when you only want one. But if you've got a few sets of lights in your van, then why not fit a few? Dead simple, dead easy, and no more batteries. That's a winner.